I have about 80-ish, give or take, straw flowers here that we grew from seed, and it's time to plant them out. I am so excited. I grew a couple different varieties this year, tall mix, and something else here that I don't have marked, but they are straw flowers, but I'll put the name below on the screen here. My sweetheart made this new bed for me this year. He and I made it together. And we got the beams from the sawmill that he's a timber buyer for. They are untreated. I think he said they're 4x6s or 6x6s, and they're called cants. So they're just rejects. They're things they can't use at the sawmill. So they're called cants. Right, so I got my kneeling pad. We're going to need that. And you can see the wooden stakes here. These are 3 feet long. These straw flowers will need to be netted, or else they will fall over and they'll start growing crooked and everything like that. I see 1 or 2 of the stakes that I drove in crooked, and I cannot stand to have something crooked. How about you? And I have like an hour before I need to start supper. Do you ever time yourself? Do you ever do that? Don't worry. This video is not going to be an hour long. I wouldn't torture you like that. But do you ever time yourself? Like, okay, I have an hour to do something. So let's see if I can get this job finished with speeding up the film. I did want to say that the soil is a nice mixture of topsoil and different types of compost. There's some decomposed cow manure, some leaf compost, might be a little bit of mushroom compost in here. But anyway, it's a nice mixture of the topsoil, so I feel like the straw flowers are going to be happy. I started these on, let's see, March the 2nd. Straw flowers are a hardy annual, so they will be just fine. They've been hardening off in my greenhouse and outside for well over 2 weeks, so they are toughened up and ready to go. Our nighttime temperatures for the next almost 2 weeks are really good and really stable, so I don't feel like I will have to cover these with any kind of a frost cloth at all. So you can see I have the Hortonova trellis netting here. This one is 48 inches wide by 50 feet, so I'll be using this in other beds. But it's quite a bit wider than I normally use. I won't have to double up and put stakes down the center. It should fit just fine. Let's see if I can actually even get these stakes out so that I can, there we go, straighten them up a little bit. I'm not even sure that that is completely straight. I think this bed is about 4 feet-ish wide, so we'll see. Let's see, they usually wrap this stuff so that it's easy to unwrap. Okay, it looks like they've wrapped it the long way. Let's go. Let's do this. All right. Oh yeah, this is so much better than having to piece it down the center. So I may have to double row it, but for now we'll just start off with the single row. What I usually do is just put it on first and then tweak it after that. So we'll have to tweak it. Okay, so I had quite a bit of tweaking that needed to be done. But I think we got it all tight like it needs to be now. Let me make sure before, measure it once or measure it twice rather than cut it once. And you can always tweak it with your stakes a little bit. You want good sturdy stakes, not something that's going to fall over. The plant stakes, like the green plant stakes they're not strong enough usually, so maybe you've used those and they've been just fine for you. But anyway, you want your netting tight. All right, I think we can go ahead and cut it now, hopefully. Now, if you find yourself needing to add another stake, you can always add another stake to make it more taut this way. All right, so we'll just neatly roll this back up. I'll be ready to use on another bed. I got this particular netting on Amazon, and I also buy some of my netting from the Gardener's Workshop, but they have, as far as I know, they only have the more narrow type So if I remember correctly. All right, so now for the fun part, we can go ahead and plant out our blocks of straw flowers. And they're wanting to adhere to their little tray here, the roots. These are all grown in soil blocks, the 1/2 inch or the 3/4 inch rather soil blocks. So, oh boy, that's nice. I like the roots. I'll bring it up to the camera and show you. Look at that. Look at that mass of roots. Isn't that cool? When you pull them apart, they just pull apart very easily. And there you go, you've got your seedling ready to go. So because I know straw flowers will get quite large, quite tall, and like almost 4 feet tall some of them can get, and quite big around, I'm going to do 1 per section here, and I'm not going to crowd them, and I'm not going to crowd them at the edge either. The size of each grid is 5'9" by 5'9". In reality, you maybe should skip a block for straw flowers, but I'm not going to. I'm going to push the limit. Okay, so there were 17 in that block, so that means 3 of them did not germinate. Let's see what we have here. These are all the tall mix. Don't you just love straw flowers? Have you ever grown straw flowers before? Oh, I love them so much. I love that you can use them fresh. I love that they dry so easily. They're practically dried when they are fresh. They retain their color. They retain their crispness, their crunchiness, or their, what is that, paperiness when you touch them. So I just love straw flowers. Hi guys. How you doing? Okay, so a couple of them might be a little bit crowded, but we got them all in there. What I will do is spray these with Repels-All just so a critter won't come and dig them up, because you can see it's outside of the main cut garden. So there's no fence. But I grew straw flowers out here in 2 kind of much smaller, no dig raised beds last year, and they did just fine. I just needed to do that because of space. I just don't have the space in any of my other beds for straw flowers. So if I need to thin some of these out, that'll be just fine. If I find out it's just too crowded, it'll be fine to thin some out. Sometimes you just have to do that. Well, I'm so glad you were here with me to get these straw flowers planted out, to get this bed all finished. The next thing I'll be planting out is more of my cool flowers. Let's see, Status is ready. Status, come on brain, pincushion flower. Let's see, what is in the block next to Status? I forget, another cool flower that I plant out in the spring. Then I'll be planting out my snapdragons. They've been hardening off, so things are really happening. I'm sure things are happening in your garden too. And of course, I forgot to say my name earlier. My name is Bobby, in case you didn't know that. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye, friends.